Jin BTS caught vacationing with family at Nami Island, fans in tears after seeing his fatherly side to baby nephew. Is this a glimpse into Jin's future as a dad? The army can't stop crying over how naturally he held his baby nephew close beneath Nami's golden trees. I asked this what fatherhood would look like for Jin. That's the question lighting up every fan forum after BTS's eldest member, Jin, was spotted on a serene family getaway to the ever-romantic Nami Island. But this time, he wasn't alone with just friends or staff. He was with his beloved older brother Kim Seokjin, his sister-in-law, and the center of attention, his one-year-old nephew, the tiny star who has completely stolen ARMY's hearts. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared fans for the moment Jin was seen gently cradling his baby nephew in his arms, strolling quietly beneath the island's iconic tree-lined path, a scene so tender and cinematic. It could easily be mistaken for a K-drama finale. Is this a photo shoot or real life? One fan commented, "He looks like the softest, most loving dad ever." The images, shared by a lucky visitor who happened to be in the same area, captured Jin in a casual cream knit sweater, cap pulled low, with zero trace of celebrity glamour, just a loving uncle completely immersed in family time. But it wasn't just his calm presence that melted hearts. It was how protective and gentle he appeared, always keeping his nephew warm against the crisp autumn breeze, adjusting the little boy's jacket, and even stopping to make sure his tiny shoes didn't come off. He kept looking at his nephew like he was the most precious thing in the world, said the eyewitness, still shaken by the overwhelming cuteness of it all. It wasn't for the camera. It was real. As more photos and snippets made the rounds on social media, the conversation took a turn toward the future. Fans started asking, is Jin thinking about family life after BTS? Could he already be preparing himself emotionally for the next chapter? And could this quiet, warm moment with his nephew be a sign of deeper longings? While there's no official word from Jin or his agency, HYB, regarding his personal plans, what's crystal clear is this: Jin has a deeply nurturing heart. Fans have always admired his care toward the younger BTS members, his fans, and now, it seems, toward his very own family. This trip isn't the first time Jin has shown his love for family, but it's easily the most emotional. Many fans still remember how proud he looked when his brother opened his Japanese-style restaurant, Asusiromashi, and how Jin supported the launch like a true pillar of the family. But this moment, this stroll through Nami Island, cheeks flushed from the chill, baby in his arms, was something else. Something deeper. People aren't just fangirling over his looks anymore. They're witnessing his evolution. This is Jin in his purest form, wrote a longtime ARMY. Not a global star, not a performer, just a man who deeply, genuinely loves his family. So, what does this mean for Jin's future? Will he follow the path of family life sooner than expected? Could his time in the military have made him even more grounded and ready to embrace a peaceful, loving personal life? Or is this just a beautiful chapter in his already extraordinary journey? It started like any peaceful autumn afternoon on Nami Island. The rustling leaves, golden trees stretching endlessly into the sky, couples on bikes, and families sipping warm drinks while children toddled around. But among the tranquil crowd, there was a sudden buzz. Not loud, not chaotic, just the quiet shock of recognition. There, walking gently beneath the canopy of metasequoia trees, was Jin of BTS. But this wasn't a public appearance. No stage, no bodyguards, no fanfare. This was Jin as no one had ever seen him before, holding his baby nephew close to his chest, his arms wrapped protectively around the tiny bundle in a moment so pure it almost felt like watching the future unfold. At first, fans didn't believe the images. Could this truly be the Jin, worldwide handsome, global superstar, out on a quiet family stroll, smiling down at a one-year-old with such affection? It left even casual onlookers misty-eyed. Yet it was undeniable. Jin wasn't alone. He was joined by his older brother, Kim Seokjin, his sister-in-law, and their adorable son, his cherished nephew, who, to the eyes of many, seems to be the one soul who has fully unlocked the softest, gentlest side of Jin. Wearing a muted cream cardigan and jeans, Jin blended easily into the calm of Nami Island's autumn landscape. There were no flashy designer pieces, no cameras trailing behind, just a young man utterly devoted to the baby in his arms. One fan who happened to walk past described the moment like a scene from a romantic film, only this time, the love story wasn't between two adults, it was between an uncle and his nephew, bound by something tender and unshakable. And then came the moment that sent the entire internet into collective tears. As they reached the edge of the river, Jin knelt down and gently placed his nephew's tiny hand into his. They stood side by side, the child giggling as the wind brushed their cheeks. Jin pointed toward the distant mountains, explaining something softly, perhaps about the water, or the trees, or the sky. It didn't matter. What mattered was the glow on his face, not the glow of stage lights, but something even more radiant. Pure, quiet love. It didn't take long for the images and whispers to reach fan accounts, and soon Uncle Jin was trending across multiple platforms. Fans weren't just swooning, they were sobbing. Thousands commented on how natural, how instinctive his protective nature seemed, as if fatherhood was something written in his very bones. "It's like we're seeing him not as an idol," one user wrote, "but as the man he'll be one day. And it's breathtaking." Speculation exploded. Was this a subtle sign that Jin was ready for the next chapter? Had military life brought him closer to the value of quiet family moments? Could he be thinking about settling down after all these years under the spotlight? Though nothing has been confirmed, fans can't help but wonder if this was more than just a vacation. Perhaps it was a glimpse, a delicate, beautiful preview of Jin's heart when all the cameras are turned off. But even beyond the speculation, what struck fans most was the sincerity. This wasn't staged. No one was meant to see it. And that's what made it all the more powerful. He wasn't acting out a role or smiling for fans. He was simply being Jin, a loving brother, a proud uncle, and maybe a man quietly dreaming of fatherhood one day. The closeness of the Kim family is something fans have long known. Jin's support for his brother's restaurant, his visible affection for his parents, and his grounded nature despite his worldwide fame have always set him apart. But this moment, in particular, felt like a keyhole into his private world. A world where he's not the eldest member of BTS, not a global icon, but just seokjin, someone who stops to fix his nephew's beanie, who carries him when he's tired, who lifts him up to see the ducks in the river with a smile that could rival the sun. There was even a quiet moment captured later in the day, Jin sitting cross-legged on a picnic mat, feeding his nephew from a small baby spoon while his sister-in-law smiled beside him. Fans who saw the photo say he looked like he'd been doing it forever. No nervousness, no awkwardness, only patience, joy, and a kind of peace that most people only find when they're exactly where they're meant to be. As evening approached and the sun dipped behind the mountains, the family was seen heading back toward the ferry. Jin had his nephew wrapped in a fluffy white blanket, cradling him close as the baby began to doze off. He swayed slightly with each step, humming something under his breath, perhaps a lullaby, perhaps just a tune from his own heart. Onlookers were frozen, overwhelmed by the intimacy of the moment. No one wanted to disturb it, and no one who saw it will likely ever forget. Maybe the real surprise isn't that Jin is good with children. Fans have always known he has a soft side. Maybe the surprise is how deep that softness runs, how effortlessly he steps into the role of protector, teacher, nurturer, with a warmth that makes it impossible not to imagine the future. A future where, one day, we may see Jin not just holding someone else's child, but his own. Until then, moments like this are enough to keep us dreaming. Not of stages or stadiums, but of quiet islands, gentle winds, and a superstar whose greatest role might just be the one no one expected: fatherhood.